Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this THORnews Hard Truth video, where I'm going to talk to you about Planet X, the Edgar Cayce maps, strategic flooding in America, and the Sunbaby. Now, this is going to be as Asteroid Fight Clubby as it gets, so if you can't handle it, you better get out now, okay? Because one thing we do in America is we let the 1% of idiots, the craziest people, speak for the rest of us. Where I think 70% of people in America and on Earth are good people, the media floods us with the 1% of garbage hearts, crazy people, and total idiots out there. So if you're one of those people who can't handle the truth or a discussion on the truth, then just get the fuck out, man. Okay? That's where I'm at right now. I'm sorry, I'm very frustrated. Okay, so right here, we're looking at space.com saying, giant lava lamp inside Earth may cause magnetic poles to flip. Hey, guess what? I've been talking about that shit for 2 years. I'm glad they quoted me. I'm pretty sure there's not an attribution. Whatever. Okay, so here we go, man. I've reached my point. I think tipping point, inflection point, I don't know. But for a couple years now, I've tried to be the bridge between the power and the people. And let's say the power are, the people have money and the military-industrial complex. We're talking the richest of the rich, and then the people who control the weapons, the one who have kept us in the International Space Station for 40 years. The ones who have been making it look like Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, Boeing are having a hard time with the goat herders in Afghanistan. Okay? And I've been repeating to them, hey man, you can't torture your slaves. That if you're going to have slaves, if you're going to have them work and overpay for everything, that's one thing. If you're then going to torture them physically, spiritually, and mentally all day, every day, it's not going to last. It's going to hockey stick up, and the whole thing is just going to break. But it doesn't seem like they're paying attention. As I mentioned the other day, no group, organization, or nation saw all the variables involved with the celestial events that are going on now. And what we're taking a look at right now are my photographs that I've been hanging on to for a while of what I believe is the Sunbaby and possibly an incoming planet. Or, man, everything we know about outer space could be totally false. So it could just be another distraction they're putting up there to distract us. Or it could be the reason that they put Donald Trump in there in the first place, just so nobody would look up and see that thing with their naked eyes. Because yes, if you look for it, it's up there. You can see it with your naked eye. Maybe you won't be able to see it from now on. Maybe it'll just disappear. But I'm saying the last week or so, it's been up there. And another thing, if you walk outside and see where the sun is rising, it is not rising in the east anymore. It has moved. So astrologers, your astrology is off a little. And another thing, the Edgar Cayce water maps. A lot of people have been like, hey dude, I really like your funny space videos. And I'm like, hey dude, I really like making those too. You're like, so why are you making all these weather videos? You're weather dooming it up. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm trying to talk to people without telling people exactly what's going on. And remember the BP Deepwater Horizon spill where they popped an artery in Mother Nature off the Gulf Coast, right? And then remember how Oklahoma has become the epicenter of earthquakes in America. Well, if you take a dot, trace it from the BP spill all the way up to Oklahoma to the Great Lakes, it sure looks like the Edgar Cayce maps, man. So whereas the media and everybody's all like, oh my God, Donald Trump, oh my God, Donald Trump, there are far more serious things going on right now. And so, what I'm here talking to you about is, I don't know what's going on. But I do know that those people who control things are torturing my people And I can't handle it anymore. I've basically been saying you gotta let the slaves go. And you gotta stop torturing my people. Because whatever it is we are going through, as one united Earth family, we can conquer any problems. But if you want to have some weird ass postmodern pharaoh slave dream thing where you kill 6.5 billion people and restart society with 500,000 people, that is never, ever going to work. The universe isn't going to let you get away with it. People who have been coddled up until now aren't going to be able to handle it. You're going to lose so many people through suicides. If it is the Sunbaby and Planet X coming in, being down in your dumbs, your deep underground military bases, man, when the Earth starts moving, those things are going to crush like a grape. So it's a matter of, do you want to be in a coffin above ground or do you want to be in a coffin below ground? And the weird thing is science has turned its back on the sun for a while. And religion has basically said, oh my God, you know, anybody who talks about the sun or is interested in the sun, that's sun worship. And you are not a Christian if you give a shit about the sun. And the same thing with magic. Where like, oh my God, anything considered magic is evil and of the devil's work. So at the same time, they're kicking our asses with magic. And it's just like the Force, man. Where you have good magic and you have bad magic. And you can, to me, as someone who's extremely creative, I write, I draw, music, you name it, dance. Creativity is magic. See, there's me showing like the wall right there is east. Straight up the wall is east. And the sun is off east. And I have further videos where the sun used to be. And so somehow it's now just in a different place. And today I went to the doctor because I have some weird viral thing in my throat. It's causing an earache and a toothache. And it's the reason I haven't made many videos in the last week. Because A, I didn't really know how to talk about the Sunbaby. Well, these pictures suck. That picture does anyways. And then B, I have just been sick as a dog. Fever. And so, you know, I don't know, I said something, I think I put a note like, hey, this is a publicly funded channel. Can you guys please make donations so I can go to the doctor? And then somebody wrote like, oh my God, I can't believe you haven't even made a video in a week. And then you're asking for money. Yeah, dude, I've been sick as a freaking dog. Mentally and physically. Because mentally, I don't know how to talk to people about this. You know, I don't want to freak people out. It's not my job to be like, oh my God, Nabil's on the way. You know, like, what good does that do? You can have everybody run around with their, you know, like chickens with their heads cut off. You're like, why are you doing it now? And it's like, well, hey, there's a cat. I love cats, man. There's me. See, I didn't even go through these. I was just putting them up. Okay. So, what I'm trying to say is, I have been sick. And I have not been knowing how to talk to people about this because clearly our government wants to distract us from the things that are incredibly important. So in this video where I'm not putting any sugar in the spoon, it's because there is no spoon. Anybody who is like, oh my God, Donald Trump is evil, or oh my God, the Democrats are evil, you are getting played. They're puppets. It's like I said 2 years ago, Donald Trump's basically Krusty the Clown. A well-scripted Krusty the Clown. He gets up every day to tweet the dumbest shit ever so that everyone will bitch about it. It's like on social media, nobody talks about anything else other than Donald Trump. And that's because it's working as intended. And so I feel we are running out of time. We have two options. We stand united together as Americans and one Earth family, and we can conquer any problem out there. We are powerful in our minds, in our imaginations, in our spirits, in our will. or if we continue down the same divide and conquer road where it's basically like we are getting ground under Martian boots, we will all fail. And I fear we will all die. So there will be no rich people reset. It will not happen. The universe will not allow it. You may not believe in universal justice, but it is real. You feel me? And so I've been enduring death threats, torture threats. I pretty much sacrificed everything I can to try and bring you guys the truth as much as I can. And have a positive outlook, which I still have. That's the weird thing is, I pretty much predicted a lot of this 10 years ago. And that we would be in a position to make a choice. If we want to unite, or if we want to fail. And that's where we're at. And that's where we're at right here. And so, unless we are like a caged-in Dyson sphere getting farmed by 1,000-year-old creatures, then we really don't have a lot of hope. But over a trillion-year timeline, we will win. And I will see them again. And I will be victorious. But anything outside of that, we can conquer all problems if we come together. I'm telling you, if we give everybody in the world a second chance, wipe the slate clean, and build a system that will last for 1,000 years, everybody gets to be the hero. We go from a false scarcity economy where like they lie to you and say, oh my God, oil is $4 a gallon. When it turns out oil should be 50 cents a gallon. It's like that shit is macrobiotic. And the core of Earth continues to create it all day, every day. And they got to pump it out or we're going to have giant earthquakes. You know what I'm saying? Oh, and by the way, for those who are going to be like, oh my God, that is a lens flare. If you go back and watch this video a couple times, notice the thing by the sun at about 4 or 5 o'clock, it doesn't move. The lens flares, yeah, they move. But that thing does not move. And I can see it with my eye. You know what I'm saying? So this is like my spaz out, freak out video where I'm just sick and tired of the bad guys sticking their fucking dicks in our brains all day, every day. And the time is running out. And once again, I have to take my fellow Christians to task. And that everything I know about my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, comes from the 2 laws. Love God above all else and love your neighbor as your brother. Anything else outside of that, to me, could be Roman Catholic Church bullshit that was added to it. So technically, for me, all I need is the 2 laws that Christ the King of Kings gave us. And if it does not fit in those 2 laws, I do not need it. And I do not want it. You hear me? And so for those people talking about the revelation or the rapture, at no point were we ever told to just give up, roll over, and die. And so I'm tired of people coming to me with pieces of paper saying this is how it's going to happen. Or this is what's going to happen. And you know what? As far as I know, none of those people have predicted anything properly in the last 10 years. So if you know how to decode Revelation, go ahead and show me all your decodings. Show me how you decoded it ahead of time and have gotten anything right. Because we're running out of time, people. My big fear when I started all this was hyperinflation, meaning that it's a mathematical certainty. If you start printing trillions of dollars, your fiat currency, based on nothing, is going to eventually collapse and hyperinflate to the point you got to spend like $1,000 to get a loaf of bread. It's happened 33 times throughout the history of mankind. It happened in France before Napoleon took over. It happened in Germany before Hitler took over. It happened in China before Genghis Khan invaded. bad things happen if you get to the hyperinflation point. You feel me? And so it is time, and it's way past time, for us to stop acting like idiot children and return to the people we used to be. In the 90s, we weren't quitters. In the 90s, we didn't hate everybody. Hell, in the 90s, men didn't use the word annoying. In the 90s, men didn't make fun of what women wore. And people talked about world peace. And they didn't talk about world peace as some, oh my God, the devil's coming to bring world peace, so we have to be at war all the time. We have to torture each other. We gotta hate everybody. Because if we have peace, the devil wins. Don't you understand the mental fuckery that is? You know, it's like they put all these things in our brain so that we would do the opposite of what we should be doing. And I don't care if you're not a Christian. When it says love God above all else, that is everything around you that you did not create. The sun, the moon, the stars, the trees, the flowers, the animals. To be good to those things should be natural. And then love your neighbor as your brother. We're all one earth family. We are the children of God. We are God's creations. So it basically says you just have to treat people well. You know? And so those should be things that we should all agree on. That is the common ground that we must find to survive. And you know, I don't know how old Earth is. I feel like we've been through this shit a bunch. And a bunch of times, the evil ones take us to this point and then are like, hey, if I can't have it my way, if I can't have my harem of 300 women on Mars, then I'm going to bring the whole thing down and everything's going to burn. So that's where I feel we are now. We cannot let that happen. You know, it's like if this is the Sunbaby, we need to join hands and start singing a lullaby. And if it's Planet X or something else inbound, we need to work together, put all ideas on the table, and we will survive it. I don't think you know how powerful human will, the human mind, the human imagination is. You know, it's like if they had machines that could gauge human emotion and the raw energy we as single humans create. It is extremely powerful. Some of us are just like suns and stars. We radiate with such energy that we are felt across the universe. And I know that's hard to believe. And I know a lot of this is probably coming at you pretty fast. But like I said, dude, you know, I don't know what else to say. Because I keep feeling like I keep coming up against some weird Schadenfreude Spanish Inquisition of technology wall of powerful people who are just like, no, this is how it shall be. I am the God. It's like, no, you are not. And so, in this, yes, I'm depending a little bit on miracles, and I'm depending a little bit on divine intervention, but I have faith in that. What I am still scared of, it's the health and mental state of those around me. You can't quit. You can't give up. No matter what. We can't let the bastards win. So they're going to knock you down. But you got to get back up. Because I cannot do this without you. Okay? So I just thought I would let you know. And they may come after me, man. You know, they may finally be like, oh shit, you did it now. And I literally went to several agencies and said, hey, how do I talk about this? I don't know what to say because I don't want to panic people. And, nobody would respond. And so here I am after my car broke down, and then I just went to the doctor, could barely afford either one. Like, all right, I'm now to the point where I literally have nothing left to lose. So here you go with the truth. And I'm not doing this to freak anybody out. I'm doing it because we're going to come up with real solutions. We need to know the truth. And I'm not even saying that what we were looking at is quote unquote the truth. I don't know what it is, but I'm trying to figure it out. And so, like I said, for those who are mad at NASA, or mad at the ESA, or even mad at Republicans and Democrats, man, they are doing what they are told. And that they have been scared to break orders because they would get killed. They would be tortured. Their family would be tortured or killed. Because that's the way it is. We have been being ruled by force and coercion up until now. So it's time we do this together or perish. I just want to say thank y'all for listening, and I'm sorry for this. I want to remind you, THORnews is a totally publicly funded science, weather, information, comedy channel. And that I can't do this without you, man. I've sacrificed everything I have. I don't even have enough money to take a lady out on a date. I barely had enough money to get my car repaired. And I don't have enough money to do all the doctor and tooth shit that I have going on. So I'm at the end of my rope, and I have given my all. And at this point, I know a lot of people who have stacked up their racks and their 401ks and shit. I want to laugh at you. Because it's like, dude, I don't know how long the currency is going to last or civilization is going to stand. But if you could donate a little to help me grab beer or maybe even medicine for my tooth, ear, and ailments, that would be great, man. Because I always thought that if I worked my ass off and was at the very top of my game, I could at least make enough to make a living. And well, I am one of the most heavily censored people on YouTube. That I know for sure. So, Anyway, hard truth. I gave it to you. So I had to do it this way. Anyway, I love you guys. And I'll talk to you soon. I got another weather video coming out. And like I said, that there's a reason that I've been doing the weather videos all the time. Because if you notice, a lot of the heavy water areas in the strip we keep saying is going over this area, and water is heavy. And I will not just stand by and watch as they drop millions of people into the ocean. There is enough room for us all to live here in harmony and peace. There are enough resources for us to create and build anything we want to. The future is ours, and we can create it from our imagination. We can make it a wonderful, super awesome land together. But we got to give up war, and we got to give up hate. And at some point, they have to disclose the truth to us, because we need all the real problems on the table, and then we need all the ideas on the table. We can get there, and it would be one of the greatest moments in all of humankind, in all of history. And I don't know what else to do. So if they take me out tomorrow, this is the only way I wanted to live. Trying to do the right thing for everyone. Because I guarantee you, if we give everyone a better quality of life, everyone's quality of life would improve, top to bottom. Okay, so thank you guys for listening. Talk to you soon, I hope. Okay, Woohoo! Going crazy. It's a lot of fun. And I let it fly. Let's see if it catches on. Peace out.